today's video is going to be about triggering. So last few days, few weeks, you can say that it's been like a repetition of certain pattern of triggering which was happening with me as well. And I also had a kind of conversation with a friend who too was in the similar kind of phase with the similar kind of people. So now that made me question like what exactly happens. Sometimes we try to manage and try to keep people in our lives knowingly that these people may be toxic for our betterment, for our health, mental and physical health. But then we still manage or maintain that relation because that comes under our own familiar awareness or familiar kind of relationship that we have been having maybe since childhood, maybe due to certain connectivity or some kind of distant relation that we are carrying and we cannot avoid. But if that relation is becoming toxic in your life, you need to identify ASAP so that you can work on it. If you think that you have tried a lot to heal that relation or you have been suppressing your voice just because you don't want to hurt people, but in against that what you have been receiving is a kind of hurt and also the kind of disrespect which you don't deserve. Now what next you can do for these kind of relations that exist in your life? It could be your own people from the family, it could be your very good friends, it could be your professional colleagues, anybody. So now the very first thing what we can do is we need to understand whether we are getting triggered or not. How do you identify whether you're getting triggered? So the triggering symptoms could be basically the reactions would be on what reaction you basically feel the triggers. You can identify from the list which I'm sharing it right now. It could be somebody rejected you or somebody betrayed you. This could be the one of the reason that you get triggered. It could be unjust treatment. So what I felt in my case, it was mostly unjust treatment and challenged beliefs. Third would be helplessness, when you are completely you don't feel that you have that kind of support, you feel helplessness. Being excluded or ignored, disapproval or criticism, unwanted feelings, insecurities and loss of independence. So these are certain triggering factors which will trigger you certainly in a form of throwing anxiousness in you. So you will start feeling anxious when you are triggered on these facts which I shared right now. So now the situation is, suppose if you feel that you have experienced either of them and then you are triggered. So how do you feel that it is a triggering? Because you will be anxious, your body will be shaking, you will be feeling dizzy or stomach upset, or it also could be numbness. So there could be any physical symptom which would be kind of connecting to the emotional trigger that has happened just because of certain people behavior. Now what we can do is if you could just not react that time, because I tried many times and sometimes I myself see, I am a kind of person who would not like to hurt anybody else by shouting or naming or blaming them. But then but I will keep those emotions suppressed in me. So when I see that I am not able to do that and it was me that was always on the hurt side, so if I once tried to give them back, it was me who was feeling bad. So you need to identify your characteristic and traits because it's like we people are not dumb. We can always give back to people those who are triggering us. But then sometimes when it is overwhelming, then only we do such things, because that is my ingrained personality. And when you do it, if you don't feel okay with that, that means you have to understand that what kind of person you are. So you might not be a person who would like to give them back. So how do we deal when in such situations? So when you get triggered, if you could just stop yourself during that time and you don't react, you can do later on when you get your space, you can trace the roots, why you get triggered, what exactly happens during those situations. Get curious, ask deep questions from yourself and manage them in the moment. That means you are not procrastinating it, but you're just trying to be normal and not in the chaos in that particular moment. own your feelings, whatever feelings you have, please own them and accept them. Yes, I am feeling hurt, I am feeling disappointed, I am feeling anxious. Then give yourself some space to just write them for yourself, so that you understand finally that what is happening. You can ask deep questions which can connect to your deep emotion which has been triggered. Then keep an open mind, because you know that everything has a solution. This might also have a solution. When you are done with everything, then there can be some point where you can actually communicate. Now you can think about communicating with the person if you feel it will be worthy. If you feel that the person is so headstrong, so arrogant, and is not ready to listen to anybody else's perspective, or feels they feel super confident about their thing, but they don't want to accept about anybody else, then I don't think so it will be worth to talk to that person. But yes, this is one option which you can do. Then you can identify that. Also you can identify who are these people by whom you are always triggered, so that you can avoid communication and avoid meeting as mostly you like suppose if it is in a family, you may think that it is not avoidable, but then you have to create certain distance and boundaries to avoid those people. You can also have a mood journal where you can write like what exactly the mood shifts when you see these people. If you think that it has been overwhelming for you and you have not been able to cater to the triggering things which has happened on your emotional front and physical front, then please do take care of yourself by talking or speaking to somebody professional. Try to be mindful when you react. If you are mindful, you won't react, because you will understand. Being mindful means just be in the present, be in the moment, and try to understand how you can calm yourself. Okay, so these are few things which you can do when you feel that you're often triggered by a few people in your life, and unfortunately those people are whom you have to deal with on regular basis. So as I said, it could be your family, it could be your close friends, or it could be your office professional. Think about it, work on it, and do let me know if it helps you somewhere in your life to not get triggered so quickly, or you could resolve the issues by yourself. Thank you so much.